Oh
Good
Lord.
morning. Everybody's
Okay,
Yeah, now,
so
outside.
yeah, that's better. You like right now, you looking right in my eyes.
Good
Not
morning.
now
we're
you.
about to start the countdown, y'all.
What about now?
So the countdown in 14 in
4 minutes. Um, what about now? Watch me. Good morning and welcome to the 2021 virtual Advancing the
yeah,
Dream Home
yeah,
Buying Seminar. I'm
yeah, you
Tony Jameson.
yeah, you can I can still see that there might not be a way to get it where you need it because see you to me now you're looking if I'm standing you're looking up to the right. Is that where you're looking?
Well, I'm looking right at the camera now. Now I'm looking at the script. Good morning and welcome to the 2021 virtual Advancing the Dream Home Buying Seminar.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Oh my goodness. We're getting off here. Alright, and
All right.
sir.
Uh,
Unfortunately we hot micing. Hold
Put
on.
it in front of me here then. Let me
I
put
gotta
it.
get everybody off the screen real quick. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, technology already this morning. Now you can hear me. Good morning again, and welcome to the 2021 virtual Advancing the Dream Home Buying Seminar. I'm Tony Jameson, and Having just completed the purchase of a new home in March, I am truly excited for every one of you who joins us this morning seeking information on the home buying and selling process. We discovered in 2019 that there were not a lot of information sources available to families and individuals with questions about choosing the right realtor or financing options. Many folks shared with us their concerns over credit challenges and getting approved for a home loan that actually kept them from taking steps toward home ownership. Nearly all of them simply said they could not afford to pay someone to get the information or advice they needed. We reached out to real estate and finance professionals. Those partners all agreed to help us provide the information and resources for potential home buyers and sellers in a free seminar. That's when the Advancing the Dream Home Buying Seminar became a reality. Today, our presenters from First Community Bank and the McDonald Real Estate Group will share with us the steps to home ownership. We encourage you to please take notes on the information they offer and to use our virtual connection and the Q&A to ask the questions you need answered. Be sure to take note of the contact information we will provide and know that we and our presenters are available for you even after today's seminar. To each of you who join us today seeking information, congratulations. You have taken the first step toward advancing the dream.
The Millers have talked for years about the dream home they'll one day own. As that day gets closer, they're also talking about other things, like what kind of mortgage makes sense for them and how to balance real estate with other goals, like college savings. Mark and Gail realize that life is full of financial decisions and that each one relates to the others. At First Community Bank, we're helping them achieve today's goals in a way that protects tomorrow's. How can we help you?
Hello, everyone. We are Denise and Jesse McDonald at the McDonald Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Home Team here in Columbia. We are excited about being a part of this Advancing the Dream Home Buying Seminar. And we are so excited for you as well for taking the first step in buying or selling a home by gathering information.
It's very important for us here at the McDonald Real Estate Group to provide our clients information so they can make informed decisions about the home buying or selling process. And it is a process. However, we're with you every step of the way of that process. We try to develop a lifelong relationship with our clients. Now, buying and selling a home can be stressful. We here at the McDonald Real Estate Group try our best to minimize that stress. We wish we could eliminate it completely. After 26 years of practicing real estate full time, we've been unable to do it.
So whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, upsizing or downsizing, the McDonald Real Estate Group is here to help you.
Let us know if or how we can help you. We hope you're enjoying the Advance the Dream Home Buying Seminar.
You can call the McDonald Group at 803-743-8425. Email Jesse or Denise McDonald at remax.net.
McDonald Real Estate Group, we're being realtor here in Columbia. Of course, I'm Jesse, and this is my beautiful wife, Denise. Denise and I are excited about today. We are excited to participate in the home buying process this morning. We're excited for you as well. We not only excited for you, we commend you for taking this step in the home buying process. Denise and I realize the importance of providing our clients with information so they can make informed decisions about the home buying process. Real estate is a passion for us. Real estate is our passion. It's not just only a profession for us. Real estate is a ministry. And as a ministry, we try to reach as many people as we possibly can. Before we get too far in our presentation, we just want to tell you about how to prepare for the house hunting. Well, Denise said we need to introduce ourselves. Let's do that. Denise?
Okay, like my husband Jesse said, I'm Denise McDonald, a realtor with the McDonald Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Home Team Realty. Just to give you a little about myself, I am retired military, was served 21 years, 8 months in the United States Army, retired human resource manager. Also, after retiring, I went into the civilian sector about 8 years, served as an executive assistant, all combined with my military corporate work I did before I became a realtor. I have over 32 years in customer service. As you would find in real estate, it's the foundation of it, of course, is customer service. After I retired, I did the civilian side until I decided what I wanted to do. And always knew I wanted to go into real estate, wanted to go into real estate investment. Wasn't sure how to get that started because I did want to take it to a higher level than what I saw as a child. After much deliberation with my husband, he and I both decided the best way for me to do it is to go into real estate full time. And so, of course, I've been in practicing 3 years full time. I have not looked back, even though I initially came in for investment and to learn the industry. It took me back to my roots. And as my husband said, our biggest goal is to help people. It's more than just providing services. It is truly a ministry to us. And I've always loved helping people, bring out the best in people, and educate people. So as I have, just give you a little tidbit of me, let my husband share a little about himself.
Well, thank you, baby. Thank you, Denise. I too am retired military. I actually spent 22 years in the Army, United States Army. And I got into real estate part-time prior to retiring from the military. But once I retired in 1998, I got into real estate full-time. So again, I've been practicing 23 years now. And I really love helping people fulfill their dream of home ownership. When Tony Jameson and Gilbrina Strange presented this opportunity to us, with no hesitation, we agreed to come on board and be a part of it, because we realized that sharing information with our clients about the home buying process help minimize the stress that can be caused when buying a home during that home buying process. I say minimize the stress. We would love to alleviate it completely, but after 26 plus years in real estate, we haven't been able to alleviate it. Now we are talking about how to prepare for your house hunting. First of all, know that there's no right time to buy a home.
Absolutely.
If you ask me when it's the right time to buy a home, I would say right now, or we would say right now, but we don't know your situation. So there's really no right time to buy a home. And when you begin your research and plan to buy a home, don't ask too many people about their opinion. Ask their opinion about you buying a home. Of course, those that are close to you, you can ask some of those, but you have discernment. You know who you probably shouldn't ask their opinion about you buying a home. Understand that no house is perfect. You got to realize that. I don't care if it's $100,000 house or $100 million house.
Absolutely.
No home is perfect. And during the home buying process, don't you try to be a killer negotiator. Let's negotiate. Let us as realtors negotiate on your behalf, because some of our clients during the negotiation process, telling us what to negotiate, they be saying some things that are really unrealistic. But anyway, we educate them to help them to understand the home buying process. Plan ahead.
Absolutely.
You got to plan ahead. You got to count the cost of buying a home.
Absolutely.
Because there's more to buying a home than just getting a mortgage. You have maintenance on the homes. There's some costs you got to pay up front before you actually get the loan.
Right.
So you got to plan ahead for that. And first, choose a home because you love it and not because you appreciate it. You can appreciate it later, but buy the home because you love it. And as time goes on, you'll truly appreciate it. Now, these are some mistakes or pitfalls some buyers make when purchasing a home. They choose a real estate agent. I don't know how to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. They choose, I don't want to say the wrong real estate agent. They choose a real estate agent who is not committed to forming a strong business relationship with them and looking out for their best interests. Another mistake is making an offer on a home before you even pre-qualified. Pre-qualification is very important. We'll talk about that a little bit more further on in our presentation. Again, you got to know the total cost involved in buying a home. Even scripture talks about counting the cost. So you got to count the costs involved in buying a home. And we're going to help you with that today. Some, when they start looking at buying a home, they go to open houses, they look at newspaper ads or magazine ads or even the internet. And that's fine. That's fine to look in those places. But it really helps to have a real estate or realtor helping you with that process as well. Another mistake, some buyers don't want to have a home inspection. Homes inspections are very important. You want to know what you're getting when you buy a home, because we, with the untrained eye, won't see the things that an inspector sees. So it's very important to have a home inspection. And the last mistake we're going to talk about is some people want to purchase a home without a home protection plan. It's called a home buying warranty. Just like you have car insurance, life insurance, or health insurance, you need insurance for your home, well, a protection for your home, just in the case your heating and cooling system goes out, the refrigerator. The home warranty just covers a lot of things in the home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So make sure you guys are really paying attention to these tidbits, because this is a lot of, especially again, a first-time homeowner, you don't give thought to these things. So as a precursor of what things Jesse have just covered, we got to go over the home buying process objective that we strive and will explain. So we're going to explain the following during this process: choosing a realtor and the realtor choosing you. As Jesse already touched on, the importance of making sure you connect with the right realtor, but we're going to go a little bit more in detail and help you to understand the dynamics of how that works. Difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. Believe it or not, it's truly a difference. We're going to go in more detail about that. The buyer and realtor relationship, and I would like to add roles and responsibilities, because you'll find that it's a partnership and both have their part to play in it. Agency relationship, that's where you're going to learn from a legal standpoint, as well as your options and choices, which we're going to go. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to have options and I like to have choices. The importance of loan pre-qualification, that is a good one. So make sure you pay close attention and take your notes. Types of loans and down payments requirements. I know a lot of folks like, what I qualify for, I'm not sure. We're going to touch bases on that. Upfront costs in buying a home. Jesse mentioned about is more to it than just going from paying rent to a mortgage. Well, it is. And in this portion, that's where we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about the types of inspections. In those types of inspections, we're going to also cover, in the previous one we just mentioned, the upfront costs. So you can see, once again, all that it entails beyond just simply paying a mortgage. The home the home search process. That in itself is a process, and I can't say it enough, partnership. You're going to hear partnership, relationship a lot as we talk. The process of negotiating an offer. As you were, I went too fast, step too close. So process for submitting an offer. There's a process to submit that offer. We're going to make sure, and all the things that we do prior is kind of help set the stage to make sure we get all the information, all the paperwork to get that offer submitted. Now, if it comes to it, we have to, we will talk about the process of negotiation, if applicable, because there, as we discuss later, you may not always have to negotiate if your initial offer is well and accepted. When an offer becomes a contract, what that means and how, because as soon as you do an offer doesn't mean it goes directly to a contract. And then where our final destination, the main course of this presentation, is the closing process. So we're going to talk about all these are our objectives that we want you all to walk away knowing, and we can't say it enough. Our goal in this seminar is to make sure you know more at the end than you did at the beginning. And so from here, Jesse gonna take it away.
Uh, Thanks. Very good. Very good. Denise mentioned earlier that in the home buying process, one of those first steps is that choosing a realtor and a realtor choosing you. And we're just going to expound on it a little bit. Buying a house is a joint effort. Let me tell you about one of the common myths about real estate, about realtors and buyers' relationships. One of the myths is buyers think that the realtor works for them. Believe me, that's a myth. We as realtors work with you on your behalf. So we'll dispel that myth about the realtor work for you. Okay, the truth is buyers and realtors agree to work or not agree to work together. Sometimes a buyer can't work with a realtor, sometimes a realtor can't work with a buyer. There needs to be a mutual agreement between the buyer and the realtor. It's important for them to be a good fit for each other. It's so important because buying a home, there's a process, and that process can take a while. And during that process, you develop relationships. So you don't want to develop a relationship with someone that you really don't want to work with. It's an uncomfortable position, a very uncomfortable situation for you, the buyer, as well as us realtors.
Absolutely. And I just want to add to that. In addition, when he talked about the myth, buyers think that realtors work. As Jesse said, we don't. A good way to look at the position of a realtor or real estate agent is that we are facilitators of the process. And also we're consultants. We're somebody you come to and consult. We do the research, we do the legwork to make sure that you're in a position to make and have the information to make an informed decision. So real estate and consultants and facilitators, we facilitate the process. So the next thing we're going to be covering, of course, is the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent.
Okay. A real estate agent is a professional who assists in the buying and selling of properties and has obtained a real estate license to do so. Again, every real estate agent is not a realtor. Again, a real estate agent is someone who has gotten their real estate license to help buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Now, a realtor is a real estate agent who is an active member of the National Association of Realtors. All realtors are required to adhere to an extensive code of ethics so consumers can feel at ease knowing that they are working with agents who are thoroughly vetted and have sworn to uphold certain professional standards. We're required to take a code of ethics exam every 2 years to ensure that we are up on the code of ethics and the different articles that the National Association requires to be aware of. So there is a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor.
Absolutely.
Okay? Do you have anything you want to add there? I mean, Denise? Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive us for saying baby, and we want to keep it professional. It's just that we do it so much in our daily lives that we sometimes slip and say it with clients. It's okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
So the next thing, no, I don't want to cover. I think Jesse did a great job in explaining that difference between a realtor and a real estate agent. He and I are both realtors, and I hold the pen as well, but he's wearing it, displaying the big R, which stands for realtor.
And you may see the realtors commercial on television talks about the National Association of Realtors. It says that this is who we are. In our lapel pen, it's a big R. This is who we are as realtors.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now we just want to, of course, talk about agency relationships. Now, agency relationships is actually a law where we have to disclose. You have this form called South Carolina Disclosure of Real Estate Brokerage Relationship. Now, us within our industry, you may sometimes hear some of our colleagues, even ourselves, refer to it as an agency disclosure form. In that, the South Carolina licensing law require that a licensee us, a licensee as a realtor or a real estate agent, we're required by law to provide a customer, or someone we come into contact with a meaningful explanation of the agency relationship between yourself and the brokerage firm and or the licensee that represent the brokerage. Jesse and I are licensee to REMAX Home Team Realty. We ourselves are the McDonald Real Estate Group, but we operate under the umbrella of the brokerage firm of REMAX Home Team Realty. So when you go into agreement, you're actually going into agreement with the actual brokerage firm, not per se us, but we represent and we do all the lead work for that particular firm. Now in that, and like I say, and so it's required by law that we also not only give you that, but we give it to you in a timely manner. And when we make that first meaningful contact, and guess what? We're making meaningful contact right now with you guys. So we're going to go over that a little bit more in detail. It also informs you of your choices of relationship. Remember earlier I mentioned to you guys, you have choices and options, and that's what this makes sure that you have. Years ago, before NAR came about, they had an issue with people getting swindled out their land because they didn't understand. People having makeshift or no contracts at all, or just a lot of unlawful stuff, kind of the wild, wild west, if you would, of real estate. And so we had a group of realtors who came together and said, hey, we got to get this under control, in which now we know as National Associations of Realtors, which is throughout our nation. Which is a great thing. They look out for the well-being and benefit of the consumer, which is yourself. In that, the choices of relationship talks about customer versus client. Bottom line up front, as we say in the military, a customer is a person who has not entered into a written agreement with a licensee or brokerage firm to represent them and help facilitate. Remember I talked about earlier, the facilitate or provide you real estate counsel regarding your real estate needs. Whereas a client is a person who has gone into a written agreement with the licensee or brokerage firm to do just that, to represent them, to negotiate on their behalf. So one is not in writing and the other one is. And also, the disclosure, it gives you options for the different types of agency relationships you enter in. So as 4, I put them in the order that it is on the actual form: single agency, dual agency, disclosure, dual agency, and designated agency. However, as Jesse and I, when we brief our clients, I always like to say, I put the third one second because you got to first disclose. But I don't want to jump too far ahead. Single agency, I'm going to kind of go through for the sake of time, a little quick, but this will be touched on again once you enter into a relationship, prior to you enter into a relationship with a realtor or licensee. Single agency, as of right now, if you guys move forward into a relationship with a real estate professional, you will enter in single agency where they represent you and not the other side. Let's say you as a buyer like a house that particular realtor or real estate agent have listed for another client. Then they have to, that's why I told you I want to skip up to the third one. You have disclosed. We're required by law to disclose the fact that we have that listing and that we're representing, and give you the option. We go back to that word option to say, and not only you, but the seller, the option if y'all want to enter into a dual agency relationship. And if you both sides have to agree, then we'll do the necessary documents for both sides to in writing, because nothing is binding, nothing is legal, and nothing exists unless it's in writing. And so we'll make sure that you do that. And let's say if you don't, and that's where you have the option. The McDonald Real Estate Group, because you have 4 options on the agency, which we'll touch later when you go to that point of saying whether or not you want to enter or consider it later. We always tell people to hold it, consider it later. Then after, so I covered the first 3: single agency, dual agency, disclosed, because we've disclosed to you that you're about to enter or you have an option to enter into a dual agency. Then designated agency. Let's say Jesse and I have a listing. You all walked in off the street because you saw a house on Zillow. That house so happened to be Jesse and I. Y'all want a realtor, which we get a lot of calls. Can we, y'all, want somebody to show me something? But now scenario, you walk in. And so we say, oh yeah, we have to go to the thing of disclosing. We're the representative for that. And we have to notify the listing and ask you, would you like for us to represent you? Knowing that, and if you choose not to, because you have that option, you have that choice, then our broker will then designate another realtor within our office to represent you, if that's something you want to do. Everything, options and choice. And that pretty much covers that in a nutshell. Now I want to go to the duties and responsibilities to the customer. So you remember I told you you got two relationships. You got a customer and a client relationship. We're going to deal with the customer first. Customer, we present all offers in a timely manner. And customers take on so many forms, i.e., if you guys are if we have a listing, you come to us with a different real estate professional, you want to get our house, then from that standpoint, even though you're the client of the other person, you will be our customer. And I want to point that out because you will present an offer to us. And in that offer, then we will, of course, present it. We will make sure we accounted for all monies. We'll be fair and honest and provide accurate information. We will provide limited, take note for customers, limited confidentiality. And as a customer, you should not expect a brokerage firm or licensee to promote your best interest. Whereas as a client, we do all of those things except the last two. The client, instead of not promoting your best interest, as a client, we do promote your best interest, and we make sure that you can expect us to do everything for you. And confidentiality is a must. So I want you to look at it like this, because as a client, we owe you fiduciary duties. OCAR is an acronym that we use to make sure we cover all facets of fiduciary duties. You got O for obedience. Jesse and I will make sure that we are obedient in everything within the ramification of the law, of course, of your request. Our job is to collect data, control the process, but we can't control the outcome. We also provide information, but we can't make any decisions. So we're obedient, we're loyal. That's where we do look out for your best interest, and we hold your interests above our own. And then also disclosure. Our job is to make sure that we collect all the information that we need to make sure you get it. Confidentiality, it outlasts the contract. Accountability, we make sure we keep up with everything and track everything. And then last but not least, reasonable care and skill. Through education, through our making sure we do our testing, we do everything that we can to make sure that we're the subject matter experts and a professional in our industry.
Great job, baby. Great job, Denise. The next step in the process of loan pre-qualification, which is very important, there's no way to get around it. There are some benefits to loan pre-qualification. The first one is lets you know if you're able to get a loan. Then if you are able to get a loan, it lets you know the amount of the loan that you can get. The other thing that it does is it gives you negotiating power. It gives you negotiating power. A seller is more likely to negotiate with someone who has been pre-qualified than someone who has not been pre-qualified. Now, just briefly, we're going to talk about the types of loans and the down payment requirements. First, you have the FHA loan, which is Federal Housing Administration. Minimum down payment, 3.5% of the loan amount. The next loan we're going to talk about is conventional loan. The minimum down payment is 5% of the loan amount. And the last loan we're going to talk about is the VA loan, Veterans Administration loan. 0 down payment. Although that's a 0 down payment, you are required to pay a funding fee, as you can see on the screen here. If it's your first time using a VA loan, 2.3%. The subsequent time you use the VA loan is 3.6%. And that funding fee may be rolled up into the mortgage. And also, there are some special loan programs that are available for first-time home buyers, first responders, teachers, and we just hitting on the different types of loans. We have someone that's coming into the program later that's going to explain to you more in detail about the types of loan and the loan process.
So now we're going to talk about upfront costs. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and put these on the screen. So in that, you have earnest money. Earnest money is like good faith money that shows the seller that you are serious about it. It can vary in amount. Typically, it's 1%, but some new bills require 2% of earnest money. And then it varies also based upon the amount of the home that's being sold. I.e., if you're going to have a home sold for $85,000, you're not going to typically put 1%. You probably put bring $500 for earnest money. But just to give you the gist of what earnest money is, it's just to show the seller your seriousness in purchasing the home. Credit report, that's another upfront cost, typically about $45. And also they run credit reports, just so you know, from the beginning all the way up to closing, to make sure you're not making any unnecessary or big dollar item purchases. So once you begin the process, remember, do not make any big dollar purchase, because it can and will, if you're not careful, affect your ability to be able to purchase. Appraisal fee. Appraisal fee is typically about $450. It's where the bank will order appraiser, someone who go out to the home to assess the home. To see the value. Bank will never lend you more than what a home appraised for, but that's an upfront cost. Inspection fees. You have 3 inspections. Jesse mentioned to you earlier that we not require, because we can't require anything, but we highly recommend that you do your inspections so you can know what you're getting into. And so that take us to,
Go ahead and just call them.
okay, here you have your 3 inspections. You want to cover from here?
Yes, you
Okay.
had a home inspection, termite inspection, and the heat and air inspection. Those are the approximate costs for those inspections. The lenders require the termite inspection, the home inspection, and the heat and air inspections are optional, but highly encouraged. And during the home search process, it's a joint effort between the realtor and the buyer. And during that search, we as realtor, we do resale homes, new construction home, build jobs, short sale, foreclosures, HUD, VA repo, all those different types of homes. And a short sale is basically a pre-foreclosed home.
And what we do during the home search process, that's where that partnership come into play, is that if you're out there, you see homes, just let us know so we can do the research and let you know the current status, because that you won't be able to find out on Zillow, because a lot of the time information is either inaccurate or not right.
The next thing, once you find a home that you really like, we're going to submit an offer. But prior to submitting an offer, we do what we call the comparative market analysis, CMA, to help you determine an offering price. And included in the offer, as you can see on your screen there, you offer the price, earnest money, closing costs. Closing costs is normally typically about 3% of the purchase price or the loan amount. And closing costs are negotiable. The buyer can pay it, the seller can pay it, or you can split the closing costs. Also in the offer, you put the closing date, the other terms such as asking the seller about home warranty or lead a refrigerator, just other terms of the contract. And if there's contingency, i.e. you have a house to sell before you can buy the house that you're considering buying, that'll be considered a contingency.
Absolutely. So when an offer becomes a contract, so an offer becomes a contract when the buyer and seller agrees on all terms, which make it ratified binding document. Then we'll coordinate the closing after all terms have been agreed upon. Closing, and that's where we determine the time, the date, the location at the attorney's office. You can either choose the attorney if you're a buyer, or we can recommend some attorneys. We have some really good attorneys that we work with. Then we also, when a contract is ratified, it begins the 10-day due diligence period for coordinated inspections. You have, from the CCRA contract that we utilize, 10 business days beginning the next business day after a contract is ratified. Oops, sorry about that. The closing process. After the inspections are done, all negotiation has taken place. Everyone is happy, hopefully. Then we do a closing. We go to the closing. That's what we're talking about coordinating. At the closing, all documents are signed. Buyers always have more documents to sign than a seller. We do that at the closing, and that's where you get your keys to your new home. What we do tell you to make sure you bring and this was what the loan officer would advise you 72 hours prior, which is certified check. Sometimes they require you to wire it. In any case, they will give you those instructions. And make sure you bring your driver's license or a photo ID. And then we've made our final destination. We take some pictures, get your keys, everybody happy, and do some handshakes, and you can go home and celebrate in your new home.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And that's basically it for the home buying process. And I know there was a lot of information packed into the last 30, 40 minutes, and you may not have caught some of it, but you will be provided our phone number and our contact information at the end of the seminar day. And Denise and I will be more than happy to serve as your realtors, mutually agreeing to work together because, again, we are passionate about real estate and what we do in real estate. We are passionate about helping people fulfill their dream of home ownership.
Absolutely.
Denise?
Hopefully, as Jesse said, it was a lot of information. So I hope you guys were able to take a lot of good notes from the information that we provided. And we can't say it enough. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, because our biggest thing is to make sure that you know what you're doing, at least have a working understanding of what you're doing, and not out there flapping in the wind, if you would. And thank you.
Thank you.
If you have questions for Denise and Jesse McDonald, now is the time to ask those questions. And they are here and back and in the screen, and we are able to see through our virtual connection all your questions. So now is the time to ask questions for Jesse and Denise McDonald as we thank them for their presentation in the 2021 Advancing the Dream virtual home buying seminar. In fact, lots of folk are saying thank you, Jesse and Denise McDonald. They have offered lots of great information. I know that we didn't focus on it, Jesse and Denise, but one question that may lead us is a direct answer as to what people should look for in choosing the right realtor. And I know that would be a perspective, it would say Jesse and Denise McDonald, but what should people look for in choosing the right realtor?
What should people look for in choosing the right realtor? What should people look for in choosing the right realtor?
What people are looking for.
Choosing the right realtor.
What should people look for?
Okay. And one of the questions is, what are people looking for in choosing the right realtor? Would you like to take that?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to. First of all, you should choose us. No, seriously. When looking for the right realtor, before you could become committed and sign those agreement to work with a particular realtor, just sit down and talk to them.
Absolutely.
You can talk to them about their experience as a realtor. You can talk to them about your likes and dislikes. You can talk to them about just so many things you can talk to them about. Their experience is very important. And I say experience is important, but we all as realtors had to start somewhere. So when looking for a realtor, I recommend that you put together a list of questions that you want to ask your realtor and see how that realtor answer those questions and see if they'll be a good fit for you and represent you as their realtor.
Another thing I want to add to that, one of the things you want to find out is availability, because, and just truthfully, we've gotten a lot of calls from customers out there who belongs to a different realtor and asking if we can take them out because their realtors are unavailable. So you just want to make sure that their availability kind of fits in with your work schedule, because a lot of time people don't get off into the evenings. So those kind of things you definitely want to consider.
And I would just like to add also is that you, as the buyer, be transparent with your realtor as well.
Absolutely.
Open communication is very important. So to reach your goal of home ownership, you both have to be on the same page to do that. And I promise you, it'll make the process so much easier, because buying a home shouldn't be stressful. It should be an enjoyable process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for
So-
that question.
We're trying to see the next question.
Next question, Denise and Jesse.
Just give us a
Will
second.
they
guys.
do
We're
a
gonna try to
credit
make
check?
sure we
Will
get
it be
to
a
everyone.
hard pull? And how
Okay, there we go.
bad will that impact your
Hey
credit
there,
score?
Dr. Renee. When they do a credit check, will it be a hard pull, and how bad will it affect your credit? So when banks do a credit check for you, it's kind of like you get, it is understood when people are beginning to look for a house, they get like a 30-day shopping spree, if you would, meaning that you get to go around, and we usually don't recommend not to check more than 3 at the minimum at least, but no, definitely no more than 5, because at that point you're going to have loan officers pretty much telling you the same thing because your information doesn't change. But to answer your question, even though it's it's a hard check for what you're doing. So it will not have an adverse impact on your ability to get a house, but just make sure you get it within that 30 days. Some institutions do give you 45. That's where when you do your credit check, have that conversation with the lender.
Mhm.
So hopefully that answered your question, Dr. Renee. Good seeing you.
Next question, Jesse and Denise. Can you explain the debt to income ratio?
Yes, you want to take that?
Well, as far as explaining the debt to income ratio, we really don't want to get into that. And the reason being, well, the question is, can you explain about the debt to income ratio?
I can cover that.
Denise can cover it. However, a lender or a loan officer is going to be on the program a little bit later,
Mhm.
which we just share with you some general
so the
information.
debt to income ratio is how much income you have versus how much debt you have. They do have ratios. It depends on institutions have different criterias based upon whatever their programs they're offering. Typically, it's around about a 30% ratio. But once again, as Jesse said, let the professional in the lending explain that. But it's typically basically weigh in and seeing if you can actually handle a mortgage and all that is entailed with paying the mortgage, the interest, the principal, and the taxes and all that stuff. So it's how much income you have going in versus how much debt you have going out. And believe it or not, you have people who have good credit and aren't able to qualify for a loan because their debt to income ratio is too high. So when you're out there, I know we are in an instant world, wanting everything, gratification, think we should get it because we work hard. I've been there, done that, got a t-shirt and all of that. Just make sure when you know you're looking to do that, that you be more mindful of your spending, more mindful of those credit cards with revolving interest rate. That can be a kicker, a dent in your overall interest in buying a home. Putting every little thing, the shopping malls, the stores and all of that, you want to back up from that. But once again, get with a lender and ask them to take a look at your stuff and let them, as Jesse said earlier, be transparent, making sure that you tell them, provide them what information they need, because they will find it out. Trust me, we've had several clients, well, not several, but a few, that had stuff that they did not disclose to the lender. And those very things end up putting them out of the game for it and disqualifying them for buying a house because it came up, because they do what you call underwriting of loan, where they dig in deep beyond the information that you provide. So just go ahead and tell them up front so they can either advise you what to do right now, as in, are you still qualified in spite of that? Or, hey, you need to probably do point A, A, B, C, D to get you properly set up in position so you can buy a home.
And I would
Thank
just
you
like
for
to
that
add to that
answer.
briefly
We've got
that,
one more question for you,
okay.
and actually have more questions. We will refer everyone to forward their questions to you directly and make contact with you. But there's a viewer who wants to know if you can discuss the pros and cons of homeowner associations, HOAs as they refer to them.
Yeah. Okay, the question is, can you discuss the pros and cons of a homeowners association?
Mhm.
The pros is that it helps maintain your value in your home.
Absolutely.
A lot of our clients do not want to be in a neighborhood that has a homeowner association. And the homeowners association is there to protect the value of the neighborhood, for the lack of a better word. If the homeowners association is enforcing the do's and don'ts of what you can do in a neighborhood. Some of the things it prevents is people parking on the grass. Another thing that it may prevent is people in the driveway working on the cars, and the cars sitting there for a long period of time.
Mhm.
It could cover if you're not cutting your grass.
Mhm.
They'll write you a note, and eventually they'll want to fine you for it. So there's a lot of pros in having a homeowner association. The con, I really can't think of a con. The only thing that I can think of that may be considered a con is the amount that you have to pay for to the homeowner association, and depends on what amenities that neighborhood has, i.e., if it has a pool, a tennis court, and playground, and all those things. The homeowners association fee is going to be higher in that neighborhood than in a neighborhood that doesn't have those amenities. Denise, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I also want to add one of the cons were two, because I've had both experience. I had a home, my first home, where I didn't have a good association. It cost a lot. I was on the West Coast. And so they can either, like Jesse say, do a good job or not. But the other serious con is that if you fail to pay your association fees, that they actually can put a lien on your house. And an association can also foreclose on your house if you neglect to do your duties, as in making sure payments are done in time. And that's regardless if they're doing a good job or not. That's the con.
Okay.
Thank you
think
very
that's it, Tony.
much, Jesse and Denise McDonald, the McDonald Real Estate Group. Thank you very much for your presentation this morning. And again, to our viewers, we will continue to take your questions. We see them all. We will make sure that they get to Jesse and Denise. And we're going to give you a phone number at the end of the program where you can make contact with them. Now, for our viewers, virtual viewers this morning, the opportunity for you to win that new flat screen television. One of them comes with your answer online now to this question: what is the best time to buy a home? And to those of you who were paying attention in the presentation, you know the answer, or you should know the answer to that question. Again, our question: to be eligible for one of the new flat screen televisions available to our viewers today, answer the question through your virtual connection: what is the best time to buy a home?
Hello, everyone. We are Denise and Jesse McDonald at the McDonald Real Estate Group at REMAX Home Team here in Columbia. We are excited about being a part of this Advancing the Dream home buying seminar. And we are so excited for you as well for taking the first step in buying or selling a home by gathering information.
It's very important for us here at the McDonald Real Estate Group to provide our clients information so they can make informed decisions about the home buying or selling process. And it is a process. However, we're with you every step of the way of that process. We try to develop a lifelong relationship with our clients. Now, buying and selling a home can be stressful. We here at the McDonald Real Estate Group try our best to minimize that stress. We wish we could eliminate it completely. After 26 years of practicing real estate full time, we've been unable to do it.
So whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, upsizing or downsizing, the McDonald Real Estate Group is here to help you.
Let us know if or how we can help you. We hope you're enjoying the Advance the Dream Home Buying Seminar.
You can call the McDonald Group at 803-743-8425. Email Jesse or Denise McDonald at remax.net.
The Millers have talked for years about the dream home they'll one day own. As that day gets closer, they're also talking about other things, like what kind of mortgage makes sense for them and how to balance real estate with other goals like college savings. Mark and Gail realize that life is full of financial decisions and that each one relates to the others. At First Community Bank, we're helping them achieve today's goals in a way that protects tomorrow's. How can we help you?
Continue advancing the dream, empowering our community to home ownership. We thank again Jesse and Denise McDonald for their advice and information in our first session this morning. Remember to take note of their contact information. They are available to you after today's seminar for information on buying and selling a home. Still to come, we'll announce the winner of that new flat screen television that one of our registrants will win for their new home. Actually, one of the two flat screen televisions. We've also got some great gifts for other registrants, so everybody, along with the information, wins this morning. Now, with answers to your questions on home financing, getting approved, and the final steps to home ownership, we welcome the Advancing the Dream co-sponsor and your partner in the home buying process, First Community Bank, and our presenter this morning, Naren Sira. Good morning, Naren. How are you?
Good morning.
Yes, Naren. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Good morning, Naren.
Yes, thank
How
you
are
very
you?
much. I'm doing very well. Thank you for this
Good.
opportunity to come and present here. Really an honor.
We're very glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, to begin with, let me make sure I take this opportunity to thank Jesse and Denise for their service to the country. I can't relate much from the service point of view because I've never been in one, but my dad was. He retired as a lieutenant colonel from the Indian Army, where I come from, and my brother-in-law was also in the Indian Army, and he retired as a brigadier some time ago. One thing I can say is that even though you leave Army, the Army does not leave you. And I think that's how I can relate to you, Denise and Jesse. Another thing I want to make sure that I mention this after watching you guys, Jesse and Denise, that the love between you two is very, very obvious. That's for sure. And I really admire and applaud you for your approach to your business in the sense that, yes, real estate is doing very well. There's decent amount of money to be made these days. But what I sense and what I see is that you folks are here to help people realize that dream. That's why I believe you as a team and my team on the lending side will do very, very well. Let me start with a little bit about myself. I'll talk a little bit about the bank. I'll talk a little bit about the mortgage line of business that I lead here. And then I'll shed some light on the mortgage market, the mortgage industry. Then we'll conclude with some question and answers and make sure that you are ready to take that next step. About myself, I'm the Chief Mortgage Banking Officer here at First Community Bank. Big title, but I'm a very, very small piece in the whole picture of the First Community Bank. I've been in this mortgage banking business for almost 30 years, and I recently moved to South Carolina from across the country to join First Community Bank sometime in August. Folks, my approach to my profession is somewhat different in the sense that I want to help people. I want to afford them the opportunity to get into a home. That opportunity is something that comes with dignity. That's what I want to offer to a prospective home buyer or a home seller. who wants to buy another house. My wife is all the same. She works for United Way here, United Way Midlands, and she has been in a non-profit organization for a long time. I must say that the compensation from non-profit organization is not the best, but the personal feeling of being wholesome and helping the community that we live in is very, very important to her and to me. So that's my approach to business. And one of the reasons why I joined First Community Bank, which has been around for 25 years, and by the way, we are publicly traded on our NASDAQ, our symbol is FCCO. The approach of First Community Bank is very different in the sense that their part of the culture is that everyone matters. Everyone from the receptionist at the front all the way to the president, everyone matters. Every employee, every customer, every shareholder, every business partner matters. Every interaction matters. So that's why we believe in mutual respect. That's one of the main part of our DNA. And the second one is very, very important, is that we want to make a difference in people's lives in a significant way. So far, as you can see, I've not talked about mortgage banking. I've just talked about our approach to business for the bank. The mortgage line of business has been around for almost that many years, but not quite. But again, our approach is the same. We want to help people get into the homes. Again, talking about the approach, let me reemphasize that. When we help people, we support people to get the financing. We believe that by helping people first, the profits will follow soon after. My job here, when I joined here in August, was that I should grow my mortgage line of business. But you know what? Here again, the approach is different. We want to grow the mortgage line of business, not for the sake of it. Yes, we want to take advantage of the mortgage industry doing very well. Mortgage bankers are doing very well. We want to take advantage of that. But more importantly, we want to serve our community. So our primary objective is to serve the community with more mortgage loans than offer more mortgage loans to make money. Yes, we are here to make money too, but our approach is very, very different. So that's what we believe, that help people, the profits will follow later. Let me talk a little bit about the mortgage line of business. We don't believe in risky loans. Before the Great Recession, which came about in 2007, 2008, if you remember that, the mortgage bankers were offering some very esoteric products, some products that just did not make sense. If you remember before that, in 03, 04, 05, 06, at that time, it was easier to buy a home than rent a home. There was more background check when you were renting. In case of mortgages, heck, you can have what they called a liar loan. You write your income is $40,000 a month and they'll take it and they'll offer you a loan. Those days are gone. We do not offer any kind of risky loans. For one thing, those kind of risky loans are no longer available in the industry today. There are some, but we believe in offering loans to a borrower who can prove it that yes, they deserve it, and also making sure that they are able to sustain that home ownership for a long time. We just don't want to offer the loan and make some money and walk away, and hey, if the borrower goes into foreclosure, that's not our problem. That's not our approach at all. So we offer a variety of different loans, and I'll go into more details on that. But our number one objective is to make sure that we offer loans such that the home ownership is sustainable for a long time. So when it comes to, compared to competition, there are a lot of lenders here in South Carolina area, in Columbia area. What sets us apart from the banks and mortgage lenders and so on and so forth? One thing is that we Our approach is we offer a lot of handholding. A lot of our competitors will be hiding, not hiding, let's say, working behind a screen like this. In our case, our loan officers, it was not so much prevalent during the COVID times, but now they are more able to meet the person in person, do some hand holding. In addition to that, it's very, very important piece. The loan officer is relying on the processor to process a loan and take it all the way. Many of our competition, they have a loan officer, they take the loan application and they send it to the operations center, and one of the processor will take over the loan and take it all the way. There's no interaction between the loan officer and the processor. In our case, what we take pride in is in the fact that every loan officer has a dedicated processor. And the loan officer and the processor, they interact and interface with the borrower on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, whatever it may be. But those two, when they are together, that unity is extremely important in these days to take the loan all the way home and get our borrower into their dream home. So once again, local lending in the sense that we are here, our loan officers are here, our processor is here too, and our loan officer and processor, they meet, if not every day, every other day in our offices. That personal interaction is very, very important. In addition to that, the underwriter that underwrites a loan and makes sure that, yes, the borrower has the capability and the ability to, get the loan. They have the right DTI. I can talk about that in just a few minutes. They have the right DTI and so on and so forth. That underwriter is also right there. They can interact on a personal basis. So this, the personal interaction between the loan officer and the processor is very, very important. At times, I can bet you that Denise and Jesse will tell you that in some cases, the loan officer that they were dealing with did not have enough of a say in the process because they were at the hands of the operations or processing. And in this case, I cannot emphasize enough the proximity or the personal relationship between the loan officer and the processor is so good that that's where the magic happens. Another key thing is to make sure we understand that the loan officer and the operations or the processor, they don't have the us and them situation. Folks, in many of my competitors or my mortgage brethren around here, this us and them situation is very rampant. In my organization, that is one thing that I made sure that we never have that. That is us and them. When they work as a team, that's where the client, like you, will be, it'll be very easy for us to close you guys on time and take you all the way to your dream home. That's very, very important. So one thing that we offer is like, if you're a first-time home buyer or you're selling and downsizing or moving up, we have a loan for that. If you are going to say a very big house, you want a big mortgage, they call it the jumbo mortgage, we have that too. You want to buy a property, a second property somewhere in the country, we can help you there too. Hey, you want to buy a second home, a lake home, we got that too. Somewhere in the rural side, so anything in between. So what they call the conventional loans, that's a technical term. We have FHA loans, we have VA loans, and so on and so forth in between, but not the risky kind of loans. That's very, very important. Now, one thing, again, talking about our approach before I get into the products per se, let me emphasize that hand-holding is very important. We are in this business to help people. What we have found out is that through years of interacting with the borrowers, for the first-time home buyers, there's two levels of hesitancy. The first hesitancy is let's call it the lack of understanding of the education. They do not know much about mortgage. The second is down payment. Let me talk about the education or the lack of understanding. Because mortgage or financing, home financing is very complex. I'm still learning about it after been in here for 30 years. So what we do is we have so many different programs where if you're buying for the first time, if you're eligible for it, you need it, you can get this homeowners education that'll help you get ready to like get into the home and how to budget, how to maintain the financing so that you have a good sense of responsibility and so on and so forth. So education, if you ever have any doubt about the financing of a home, what is a mortgage, what all is involved, we can help you, can do a lot of hand holding. We want people to get into the become the first time home buyer. The second is that sometimes the first time home buyer may say, I have a very good job, I have good money coming in, but unfortunately I've not been able to save the $2,000 or the $5,000 or the $10,000 or the $12,000 that I need to use as a down payment for a house. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be happy to know that the state of California, they want to help the first-time home buyers too with the down payment in such a way that if you're eligible for the down payment, you get a certain amount of down payment. On top of that, if you're able to maintain your payments on time, you prove it that yes, you are a responsible person, guess what? They will forgive the down payment. That can be anywhere from $2,000 to $12,000. It's forgiven in a year or two time because you were able to prove it that you got into the house and you were responsible enough. Isn't that beautiful? So we want to get the first-time home buyers enter into the mortgage business, into the mortgage industry, and take advantage of it. And we have the state of South Carolina also helping us. Again, I want to reemphasize here. We know that the first building block of wealth in this country is a home. Of course, there's education. You need education to progress in your life and, go into a certain kind of profession and so on and so forth. Education is very important. But the most tangible, that is something that you can touch and feel, that building block happens to be a home. And if we at First Community Bank and my team can give you the education, help you with the down payment, and get you into a home, that will not only help you and your family, but it will help and make a positive impact for generations to come. That's where our approach differs from my competition. That's what I would like to make sure that I, help you understand. So let's take it further. Once you say you want to buy a home, get the education, down payment assistance, you're in the house, now you want to move up. Hey, we have programs for that too. Now you have accumulated some wealth. We have another line of business. It's called First Community Financial Center. That line of business can help you manage your wealth, help you invest your wealth or the money that you have put together in a certain vehicles that helps you make even more. Or let's do something you say, I'm going to downsize, buy a smaller home, and I will have certain thousands of dollars available. I want to set up a scholarship to help others. We can help you with that too. Heck, if you're coming for the first time and if you say, I have never even had a bank account, I want to open a checking account, we can help you with that too. We have what we call retail banking, retail branches all over the Columbia area. We'll help you open a checking account with us. In addition to that, let's say you are progressing in your life and now you are starting a new business, you want to start a business, or you want to, expand your business, we can help you there too, because we offer commercial loans. So folks, what I'm trying to say here is that First Community Bank, we are passionate about helping our community. We want to grow with our community. We believe in helping people and philanthropy because the profits will follow later. That's our approach to business. And that's how we have grown over the last 25 years, by making sure that we help our people. So between mortgages, retail banking, commercial banking, managing your wealth, we are here for you. Let me make a few comments about the mortgage industry and the mortgage market today. I'm sure Denise and Jesse will attest to it that the real estate industry is doing very well. Market is hot. Inventory is low. People are not wanting to sell, and if they do bring a home to the market, it sells very fast. Okay. So the US economy itself, from the unemployment point of view and everything, is doing very well. It's going to get better. So what will happen is that there are two sectors in the US economy that have been sort of not left behind, but they're a little bit behind in terms of the real estate. Let me tell you about that. So first is the hospitality industry. Anybody related to the motels or restaurant business and so on and so forth, they have not had the confidence to enter into the mortgage market yet. But as the economy gets better, as the restaurants open, they open to capacity and so on and so forth, as the people start, going on trips and so on and so forth, those people, when they get more confidence in their profession and their jobs, they'll be entering the market. So market is going to get even hotter. That's the one thing I can tell you. In addition to that, the healthcare industry, the folks on the front line, especially in the hospitals and clinics and everywhere, those people have been working overtime. They're getting overtime, pay. They're collecting it, but they have not had the time to enter the mortgage market yet. Those folks, once this COVID thing is behind us, they get to get their normal hours. They don't have to work so much of overtime. The stress level comes down. They will also be entering the mortgage market. So guess what? There again, the demand may increase. My message to the audience here is that if you're in the hospitality industry or the healthcare industry, if you don't have time, especially if you're in the healthcare, we can do some hand holding. If you're in the hospitality industry, you want to come and take advantage of the, say, refinancing, buying a new home or a second home and so on and so forth, we can help you there too. All right. I will conclude with the fact that in this time around, there's all the scare about, oh, I buy a home, it appreciates, that's fine, but what if the market crashes? So what? If you get into a home, you buy the home today, and if the market crashes in the next few years, this year is going to be very, very good. I do not know about next year and beyond, but something happens. The chances of that crash happening is very, very minimal based on my estimates. And my background is economics. And that's how I'm able to strategize for my line of business also from the economics point of view. But anyway, what I was trying to say was that even if the house value declines, as long as you have a job, you can make your mortgage payments, it'll be fine. So the home values go up or go down, the best time to buy is the present time. That's what I would say. With that, let me conclude and let me open up for some questions that I can intelligently answer for you. If not, then I'll have one of my professionals talk to you too. I'll open it for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Naren, and we will be monitoring the questions. I think you can see them there as well. Thank you and First Community Bank for sharing with our community today.
You asking a question?
Hit me back.
Yeah.
Naren,
Yes.
While we're waiting on the first question to come through
Mhm.
there this morning, tell us if you would, uh, first, how First Community Bank is actually helping folk who are trying to buy homes in this season. And I know we touched a little bit on it, but if we could elaborate a little bit more on how First Community Bank approaches buying in these times.
Sure. Yeah. So the first thing is that, as Denise and Jesse had talked about, the pre-approval. Pre-approval is very, very important, because when you have a pre-approval in hand, you go make a bid on a house. Um, in, if I'm not wrong, some sellers will not even entertain offer from you unless you have a pre-approval. So that's the first step. The second step is that, let's say, even before you get a pre-approval, it's a first-time home buyer, we can determine that, okay, do they need some education or some down payment assistance, or if they have enough money, that's fine too, or if they can eligible for a gift or something that they can get. So there are multiple different programs. So the idea is that, hey, let's start a dialogue. Us mortgage bankers, we don't bite anymore. I can assure you that. So let's take that that you know the hesitancy out of the equation. Just come and talk to us. That's the best thing I can start with. And
All
while
right,
we are
our
waiting for
first
the question,
question, can you see it there? Are there any loans that can help you if you are disabled?
yes. So depending upon whether you are a VA disabled, we have some VA loans. The other loans in terms of disability, it'll just depend. Yes, let's have a conversation in terms of how we can qualify even a disabled person. Remember, the industry cannot discriminate against anybody regardless of their situation, disability or not. So we will be happy to help. Before we go to the next question, there was a conversation about the DTI. May I take this opportunity just to elaborate that a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So DTI, debt to income ratio. So imagine you're supposedly you're making $10,000 per month as your gross income before tax is $10,000, and the mortgage payment, that is a mortgage principal and interest and taxes and insurance all together, that payment is going to be $3,000. So you do divide one by the other, the debt to income ratio is 30%. From all the different studies that they have been conducting over the so many years, they have said that 1/3, 33% or so, the debt to income ratio, which is the mortgage payment and the total mortgage payment versus your total income, around 30% is a good number. Imagine if you're trying to buy a home and your monthly income is $10,000 and your monthly mortgage payment is about $6,500 per month. Studies show that even though you may try to convince the people that, no, don't worry, I'll be able to afford, I'll eat mac and cheese every day. No, that's not going to happen. So practically the government will prevent us from making a loan to somebody whose DTI is like 65%, because they believe that somewhere down the road they will not be able to afford it. So that's why they try to keep it there. And there are two kind of DTIs, just to make sure that. So one is called the front end, which is just they take the mortgage payment divided by the gross income. The other one is called the back end ratio. So what I'm talking about here is the front end ratio. The back end ratio is like you take the mortgage payment plus, say, your car payment, student loan payments that you have. You may have credit card debt. You may have some other personal loans and so on and so forth. They take all those monthly payments together and divide it by your gross income. That should be around 43% or so. There again, because they say, okay, your mortgage payment is low, but you have so much other debt that together, when you try to pay off the debt on a monthly basis, your total payment is like $6,500 out of $10,000. 65% back end ratio, which is the total payment, is too high. The government there are some regulations, they will prevent us from making that loan to that person. Make sense?
It
All right.
does. It
All
does,
right.
Naren.
Thank you.
Our next question is, what is the pre-qualification process? What does it include? And what should I, the viewer, expect?
Yeah. Okay. In the pre-qualification, when you start talking to the loan officer will collect a certain uh, information from you, like, okay, what do you think your FICO score is? What do you believe? What's your monthly income that you make every month? What's your monthly debt that you make? What is the kind of house that you're looking for? Range? Are you looking for a home that is, say, $300,000 to $400,000, or $600,000 to $750,000? Once they take the preliminary information, they can put it into a system, and they say, based on this, based on your DTI, which is around 28%, I'm just making up numbers here, it's 28%, we believe we can pre-qualify you. However, keeping in mind that the actual information will be collected later on. That's when, so pre-qualification is almost like making sure that you are 90% accurate, about 90% accurate, that yes, you will be able to qualify for a loan of this much. But again, it starts with a conversation, you know. So First Community Bank, our website is there, and I think I provided a number too. Let's start a conversation and let's take the first step towards getting to your dream home and getting to the first building block of creating wealth.
Another question for you this morning, Naren. Can a
Mhm.
person qualify for more than one down payment assistance program, for example, being a first-time home buyer and a teacher?
I am not sure about that, but we can figure that out. Just like you cannot have double coupons, I believe there cannot be double down payment assistance. But I believe there are multiple programs that one can help and assist uh, folks with the unique qualifications. That's the best thing I can. Here again, I would say let's start a dialogue. Um, and Ms. Wilson, let's start a dialogue, and then let's take it from there.
Dialogue seems to be the theme of the morning. Got another question for you. What percentage of student loans will be calculated for the debt to income ratio?
Sure. So there again, multiple cases. So in some cases, there we have loan programs where if your student loan has been deferred to say up to a 12 months, for example, or 6 months, some programs will say, okay, we will not take that into consideration. In some cases, they'll say, okay, we'll take part of the loan payment into the DTI, not the whole amount. And so that's how, again, it comes down to different programs that we have available that we can offer. Again, not very risky programs. So that's what it comes down to.
Naren, one last question. What is the minimum to maximum amount that First Community Bank gives a first-time buyer?
Maximum amount is $650,000. Minimum amount, there's no minimum. You can borrow as little as you want and borrow as much as you want. When we are talking about $650,000 or so, that's like a jumbo loan. And we can go down to like $50,000 as for a first-time home buyer. If they have plenty of money to put down, that's fine too. So really, no minimum, but just a little bit of a maximum. Hope that
Naren,
helps.
we sincerely appreciate you and First Community Bank for
Thank you.
taking the time on this Saturday morning. We know that First Community cares about the community, and we just simply want to thank you providing the information. You may not have seen all of the comments, but there are several people who were saying what great explanations we have gotten from you and the McDonald's this morning, and I heard you acknowledging them at the beginning this morning as well. We simply want to thank you and First Community Bank for sharing with us this morning. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, having just completed a closing, I know it's an exciting time for the folk who are online and interested, and for the folk who will be following up with you. And we will get that number. Again, thank you, Naren, for being here with us this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, glad you are still here. It's not quite over yet. The Advancing the Dream winners of those flat screen televisions will be announced in just a couple of moments. For the second flat screen television, we need to answer this question from Loren's presentation. What is the first building block of a community? And if you would answer right away, you will be eligible for one of the new flat screen televisions that we have to give away this morning. Answer the question. What is the first building block of a community? Correct answers are eligible for a new TV, or otherwise it goes home with me this morning. We'll be right back.
The Millers have talked for years about the dream home they'll one day own. As that day gets closer, they're also talking about other things, like what kind of mortgage makes sense for them and how to balance real estate with other goals, like college savings. Mark and Gail realize that life is full of financial decisions and that each one relates to the others. At First Community Bank, we're helping them achieve today's goals in a way that protects tomorrow's. How can we help you?
Hello, everyone. We are Denise and Jesse McDonald at the McDonald Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Home Team here in Columbia. We are excited about being a part of this Advancing the Dream home buying seminar. And we are so excited for you as well for taking the first step in buying or selling a home by gathering information.
It's very important for us here at the McDonald Real Estate Group to provide our clients information so they can make informed decisions about the home buying or selling process. And it is a process. However, we're with you every step of the way of that process. We try to develop a lifelong relationship with our clients. Now, buying and selling a home can be stressful. We here at the McDonald Real Estate Group try our best to minimize that stress. We wish we could eliminate it completely. After 26 years of practicing real estate full time, we've been unable to do it.
So whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, upsizing or downsizing, the McDonald Real Estate Group is here to help you.
Let us know if or how we can help you. We hope you're enjoying the Advance the Dream Home Buying Seminar.
You can call the McDonald Group at 803-743-8425. Email Jesse or Denise McDonald at remax.net.
Thank you, and these two over here that are killing me while I'm sitting in here. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this Advancing the Dream home buying seminar virtually. Our first time doing it this way. Hey, I want to do this again. So I'm so glad that you are right there. We want to thank our partners, of course, from First Community Bank, as well as the McDonald's, who are sitting right here, being the lovebirds they have been since they've been in the room, okay? Their real estate group, be sure to reach out to them after this is over. But listen, you wanted one thing. You wanted this TV before either Tony Jameson took it or I took it. Well, the first winner is going to be Shanice Bynum. Shanice, you are a winner. You got to stop by and see us Monday. I wish they could show it to you right now, but it's over there. I can't take it home now, but you can come get it, 2440 Millwood Avenue. Come see us on Monday and pick up yours, okay? And then there was a second one. Hold on. I think we got Latanya Lloyd, you got that? She's jumping up and down right now. I see her. You got it. You got to come by and get it. 2440 Millwood Avenue on Monday, because it's Saturday, okay? From the staff and management of Glory Communications, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. We're finished.